heart of central Illinois. The forests, the plains, the rivers and lakes, beautiful scenery, small towns, a place to enjoy nature, a place to meet people, down-to-earth people, people to chat with, people who will treat you as one of their own. We're going to meet some of those people today as we take a stroll through the heart of central Illinois. Sometimes when you're stopping off in a small town in the heart of central Illinois, you'll want to know more about the history of the town itself. Well, if that's the case, you need to locate a permanent fixture of every central Illinois town, the historian, also known as the storyteller. The historian is as much part of central Illinois as long sideburns and baseball caps. This town's historian is 91-year-old Eli Zimmerman. We're going to catch up with Mr. Zimmerman right now in the city park, and we're going to ask him a few questions about history and get ourselves a slice of Americana. Excuse me, Mr. Zimmerman. Could you tell us a little bit about the history of your hometown?
Well, I remember what made this town was a brewery across the street. Well, they torn that down about 18 years ago come August and put a lot of us out of work. I was retired then, but I still don't like to see people out of work. I've been out of work since 1932. Of course, them was the Depression years. My granddad used to come and visit us. He fought in the Civil War, and we used to go to the show. Of course, in them days, Granddad used to give us kids a quarter for the show. That was in the days when popcorn was a nickel, and he bought me a .22 rifle, and my brother Jimmy got a 12-gauge shotgun and blowed half his face off one summer, so we stuck him in the truck and took him into town, and the doc had a look at him and said he'd be okay. So he put some salve on his head and stuck some gauze in a hole to keep the bugs out, but Jimmy would never write. They stuck him in a home because he'd stand on the street corner and wave his penis at people, so they stuck him in a home, and I got his dog, Bill, and well, we run out of food one winter and had to club Bill in the head with a shovel and cook him and eat him, and Jimmy found out about it, and he busted out of the home there and come into town and set Mom on fire, so me and Dad beat him in the head with a hammer, and his head was busted up pretty easy because it was real soft where he shot himself, so Dad pulled the hammer out of his head and we buried him right under the house. Of course, in them days you could get popcorn for a nickel, and Dad got a job with the brewery and he got sick. Granddad losing control of his bowels on the chair, so he beat him in the head with a hammer, and we buried him under the house next to Jimmy. Of course, in them days, you could get popcorn for a nickel, and Daddy'd bring home beer from the brewery, and that's what we had for supper every night was warm beer, because we didn't have no food, but popcorn was a nickel in them days, and Dad used to take us uptown for a soda at the drugstore on Locust Street, and he'd get a bottle of beer and vomit on the seat of the car, and he'd give me a nickel to clean it up, so I went out and got some popcorn. Of course, in them days, popcorn was a nickel.
The town historian. Just another slice of life in the heart of central Illinois. And that's all the time we have for today's program. Tune in again next time for another look at life in the heart of central Illinois.